So, guys, the thing is that I don't even think we should be recording an episode. I don't think, as Chelsea fans, I mean, Dami is a Bayern fan right now. But however, I don't think we should be putting ourselves on the camera recording, talking about football right now, especially with the state of Chelsea Football Club. However, however, football is a broad sport. There's a lot of things that happen in the game. There's a lot of matches that are being played. There's a lot of leagues, a lot of competitions, and we'll be doing it, ourselves an injustice if we don't talk about it. So, once again, we would like to welcome you to another episode of the FTLG podcast. Our last episode was the first leg of Champions League, and the second leg has been completed. We know the teams that are making it to the next round. And yeah, we had a couple games in between. We had a lot of Chelsea mishaps, a lot of issues that happened in between. But we're here to discuss, we're here to dissect, we're here to, give our opinions, to argue, to analyze. I'm still your boy, Dio. And as always, I have my co-host, legend, brother, alongside with me, Mr. Dami. How are you doing today?
Doing good, we always record on Monday, so as I always say, happy Monday, guys. Let's get into it. And thank God, we keep on pushing, keep on pushing.
Yeah, Dami, just quick, are you still a Chelsea fan? Are you now?
Nah, 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 nah. Right now, I am a Bayern Munich fan. Great team. The team is well balanced. They have a great coach. Our wingers are firing. Harry Kane is best striker in the world. Can't complain too much.
Yeah, yeah, first. We have a new Bayern fan on the pod, goes by the name Dami. He has denounced Chelsea Football Club. But yeah, we're not going to talk about Chelsea first. We're going to talk about the Carabao Cup final, as most fans know it, or the EFL final yesterday between Arsenal versus Manchester City. And I remember we did speak about like the game, not like the outcome of the game, but more so we were saying that it's going to be low key psychological warfare because after the Carabao Cup final, Manchester City and Arsenal are still going to face each other in the Premier League. And when we were making this statement, we actually did believe that City will get closer in points to Arsenal. They had one game in hand, and we thought they were going to, beat their oppositions. However, in that spell, City has dropped points, and they are now, I believe, 9 points behind Arsenal with seven more games to go. And we kind of referenced that the Carabao Cup, like Arsenal should go into that game um prepared to beat City so that they have that mindset going into that Premier League game that hey, we've done it against you, we've gotten that trophy, and in the Premier League we are going to beat you again and extend the gap. You're not going to get close to us. We are going to be Premier League champions. And let's leave the Premier League out of it first. Let's come to this final. I think myself and Dami included, we thought Arsenal was going to win this game. I did not see City beating Arsenal at all, actually by 2 goals to nothing. Maybe it was going to be 2-1 wins Arsenal, 3-1. I just assumed or I thought Arsenal was going to, dominate and win that trophy. And I don't think you can blame us for making that choice. Arsenal is the best club in England right now. They have the best defense. They've considered the least amount of goals in the league. They were the first on the table in the Champions League. They beat Bayern Leverkusen to move on to the next round. They are in the FA Cup. I think quarterfinals now. So Arsenal has been immense this season, and they didn't beat City in the first leg. I believe it was a draw, but with Arsenal's form, run of fixtures, we've been seeing that they've been handling themselves well in the league and in other competitions, and we thought they were going to win the Carabao Cup final. However, Pep Guardiola had other plans for them. Danny, what did you think about that match per se? Like, how did you expect the match to go in terms of even results or in terms of like both teams coming out to play?
No, yeah, exactly like you said. We genuinely thought that Arsenal was going to win this Carabao Cup. I said it like I feel like us whoever wins the Carabao Cup is not going to win the league. Whoever wins the league is not going to win the Carabao Cup, and that's kind of how it's looking right now in terms of like Arsenal are definitely looking like they're going to win the league now with 9 points. If they do not, then we will have to have a long conversation on Arsenal this season. But right now, it's looking like yes, they are going to win the league. But um, I'm happy Pep was able to spoil their show in this Carabao Cup. I love one thing I really loved with Pep yesterday was the pressing structure. I've always said it for Arsenal, like obviously they have top players, Zubimendi, Declan Rice. They have a couple of good midfield options. Like whenever they want, they can switch it up. But yesterday, it felt like the midfield was non-existent. Obviously, with Pep employing that no pressure pressing structure where his front four were just up there not doing anything. He definitely surprised Arsenal, and that's something I enjoy watching, especially like when I'm watching finals. Like, do something new, shake it up. Don't just do the same thing. You saw it with Enzo Maresca Club World Cup final. He did something different. He threw PSG off. They were not able to like settle in that game. And when you employ that kind of tactics, is just leave it. Just leave it. Don't do it again. Obviously, just tried it again with Bayern and it didn't work. But like I loved what I saw from Pep. Um, Obviously, they're still going to play Arsenal later this season, and whoever wins that match is going to win the league. Whoever wins that match is oh no, not whoever wins that match is going to win. If Arsenal win that match, it's looking more than likely that they will win the league. So it was definitely a good watch. I'm happy City won, very happy City won, and yeah, it's just something Ateta is going to have to bounce back from.
I mean, they have bounced back a lot when they have gotten defeated, like, or they've drawn a game that they should not have drawn. Remember, Wolves, Liverpool, saying Manchester United, saying games like that,
United, yeah.
throughout the season, they have bounced back. But my question now is Ateta's approach going into a final. Now, Arsenal fans would genuinely, I think, most of them, if you ask them, would you rather win the FA Cup or Carabao Cup? They say FA Cup. Would you rather win Champions League or FA Cup? They say Champions League. Would you rather win the Premier League, sorry, Champions League or Premier League? They'll say Premier League. Like it's a scale of preference for each and every one of them. And I think the Premier League takes it all. Like that is a trophy they have not won in past 22 years. That will bring them a lot of prestige, bring back that confidence, that pride to Emirates, to the fans. And like winning Champions League, they have never won Champions League, 140 years without the Champions League. So that is something that will bring pride to Arsenal fans and like, to the team. Now, in an approach like that, right? You've not won a trophy in 6 years. Your last trophy was the FA Cup. And you have an opportunity to just, put one in the bag. Do you think Ateta's approach was disappointing, or was it just more so Pep just outclassed him? I mean, the pressing structure, the 4-2-4, that closed off the ability for Gabriel or Saliba to find Declan Rice or Zubimendi in the middle. Now, Declan Rice and Zubimendi could have done better to shoot for the ball, receive on the half turn, and then try and progress, which is not their everyone that's not Declan Rice's game. Like we know Declan Rice is a different breed of a midfielder, talented, physical, but he is not a tempo controller. He's not first receiver. He's more so the ball carrier. He's more so the one that bullies people off the ball. Subimendi is the one that is meant for that role, but again, disappointing, has been disappointing this season. Not the best, but we can come back to that. And then with the fullbacks, like Kepa, I mean, he's not that great on his feet. However, the fullbacks were also pressed. Like if I know a lot of clips were showing Ben White or Nkapie free. But if you actually just look at it, like if you're watching that match, if Ben White asks if he gets that ball, who is on that left back? I think it was Nico O'Reilly. That it was ready to pounce. If Nkapie gets that ball, Matheus Nunes was ready to pounce. And plus the second ball, because immediately he's on Nkapie, there is a situation where Semenyo also now drops back. So he can win that second ball and they can go and press. So that 4-2-4 was great pressing structure, but were you disappointed in Arteta's approach? Like your team, your second half performance was just terrible. You were pinned to your box a lot of the time. You your counter attack, there was no like what was if you got that chance, if you wanted to counter attack, what was it like? Your rest defense was there, but how were you going to beat City's first man, second man? Did you plan that? Like it was just what did Arteta plan going into this game overall, because we always mention mentality, we always mention they go into big games trying to get a draw, not trying to win, just trying to stay in the match. And that's from a league's perspective. We know that, okay, in Premier League, if you get a draw, you can recover. You don't know what your other team might do, your opponents might do. You can recover those points, but you are in a final. You can't be playing for a draw. You can't, even penalties are, there are probabilities. Penalties are not guaranteed. Even if you are the best goalkeeping penalty saver, like whatever it is, like it's not guaranteed. So what was Arteta's mentality going into that game for you?
I mean, it's something I've always said. I feel like Arteta, like obviously Arsenal are a possession based side. They're more possessive. They like taking their time on the ball. They like
Yeah.
moving the opponents with their movement on the ball and off the ball. They like um moving their opponents like that. But my problem with Arsenal is they still don't create enough chances. Obviously, like you said, you've gone 1-0 down. You want to come out and say, okay, yes, let's go and try and score a goal. City, like I just said before, they had a great pressing structure in their 4-2-4 and pressing the center backs. But okay, when your CDMs cannot access the ball, what are your other options? In this match, Arsenal went long a lot of times. And fair enough to them, they do have a lot of tall strikers in terms of Havertz and Gyökeres. But we need that when as a team, when you go long, you also have to consider, okay, we've gone long. How are we going to win the second ball? How are we going to create chances from the second ball? Where are our players' positions when we win the second ball? If we win the second ball. And obviously, with Rodri playing, Nico O'Reilly was on great form, especially when he was in that left back CDM type of role. Um, they didn't really have anything. They didn't really have any answers. And Arsenal, obviously, we know one of their best ways is creating. One of their best ways of creating chances is by creating corners. We didn't really see that, and that's always been my problem with Arsenal. That's always been one of my problems with Arsenal. Okay, teams are setting up to defend against you. The only options you have are scoring corners. That's fine. That's fine. But what if you can't actually even score corners in a match? Look at the Chelsea match they played against us. They scored a corner. Obviously, the way they scored their corner is still very debatable with the pushing and everything, but they scored the corner. Chelsea scored their own corner back. Okay, where's the next goal going to come from? It had to come from another corner. When you're playing a team like City that won't allow you score from corners, then are set up in the right way, when corner comes, it just becomes okay. Where is this goal going to come from? Obviously, they have a lot of difference makers. Like I love Arsenal, like their squad. I know we give them a lot of heat and everything, but they do have all the qualities of a team that wants to win the league. But in that situation, are you going to like just keep on trying to score? Are you trying to cross the ball to get the header? Are you going to keep on trying to get corners? Who are the people that can shoot the ball from outside the box that are going to score a goal? That's going to bring back that energy that okay, yes, we can actually maybe even get the draw and maybe take its penalties, or we can win this match. Like they scored, City scored the first one through a header by Nico O'Reilly. They scored the second one through the header by Nico O'Reilly. When are you going to fight back? Like when is something going to change in the formation? And they didn't have a lot of that in the final, and obviously that's why they lost. So
And also, do you have any words for some of the Arsenal players? Because Saka, Declan Rice, Yoe Corres was kind of disappointing. I mean, Saliba held his own against Haaland, Gabriel, immense. Kepa, I don't think Arsenal fans should blame Kepa. Like, in short, I don't think Arsenal fans should use that Kepa's mistake as the entire reason why they lost. Like, Two things. One, he has made a mistake, yes. However, you cannot also ignore that he has been a goalkeeper from the start of the tournament. Ateta could have been ruthless, could have made a better decision in terms of who should have started the match. Number one goalkeeper and practically one of the best goalkeepers in the world right now is, David Raya. However, it was not far fetched to start Kepa in that final. He made a mistake, fine. But see, Arsenal fans cannot ignore, they can't ignore the entirety of that match where they were pinned in their own box, where they were not able to play anything, where they were being outplayed by Manchester City. And Ateta's tactics were wrong, but in a final, you need your top players to look at it as this is a do or die affair. You need your Sakas, you need your Declan Rice, you need your Glock, your Eucharist to, you know,
They
pull
stop
his trigger.
work.
Pull his trigger, but Glock 19, what is the number? Glock 14, Glock 9, I don't remember what Eucharist's number is, but disappointing from them. They could have done a lot better.
Yeah,
And compare that to City's players, Rodri. What a performance. Bernardo Silva, Ryan Sheki, Semenyo, Doku. Haaland was the only player in their front four that did not even play well. But Kushunov, Nathan Ake, big kudos. Even Trafford, the first 15 minutes, the two shots that Arsenal had, shots, I think it was three. Havertz, Saka. You see that, okay, Trafford is like, I know I was brought in as City's number one goalkeeper. They didn't trust me. They brought in Donnarumma, but now is the time for me to prove myself. So, they were very, very immense as compared to Arsenal players.
yeah, no, Arsenal cannot blame their keeper. Obviously City used their second choice keeper too, so there's no excuse. Obviously, I'm somebody that rates James Trafford so highly. He's a
Yeah.
top goalkeeper. He can save. He can kind of pass the ball sometimes. Immense in penalty savings. So I mean, James Trafford is a top goalkeeper, but you can't really blame Kepa. Like Kepa and Raya are literally same height,
Yeah,
6'1",
yeah,
six one,
and
same
six
height.
feet, 6 feet, 6'1".
Yeah, obviously Raya is more agile than Kepa, but like for that first goal where the ball like kind of left his arm, maybe he could have done better from there. Maybe.
No, maybe I think she should have done better. I think she should have done better on that one
No,
for
no.
sure.
Even if you say maybe he should have done better, there was a defender standing right in front of Nico O'Reilly. I can't remember whether it was
No,
Saliba.
that was not a defender. That was Zubimendi. Zubimendi was the one that was guarding Riley in that particular play.
Yeah,
The second one was I believe it was Nico Riley. I think Ben White wasn't paying attention to his man.
yeah,
I think Ben White's Saka was also at the back post. They didn't pay attention to Nico Riley.
yeah. So like it's obviously you can blame the keeper for that first one, but like you can't really keep on blaming the keepers. And even if Raya was there, like okay, maybe they do stop the first goal, but that second goal, with the way Kepa was already moving to one direction and Nico Riley passed it to the other direction, I don't think there's
No, the second goal was not like you can't believe like Kepa. There's nothing any goalkeeper
yeah,
against
yeah.
because
Exactly what I'm saying.
it's a case of edging it back to the direction Kepa was coming from. But the
Yeah,
first goal, yeah, you can blame Kepa. However, I'm saying they can't see because I'm seeing a lot of think pieces online saying that why did he start Kepa? Why did he not start Raya? Look at the mess Kepa. But if he didn't get that first goal, would City get momentum in the game? City already had the momentum in the game. City was playing you throughout that second half.
yeah,
Playing how they played you out the park like crazy. Like every time it was just back to back to back attacks. And you were not coming out to play. You did not come out to play. Because after they scored the second goal that Califor almost I was
Cla-
gonna say Calamari.
yeah.
Calafiori
Yeah.
had he hit the bar with that shot. I think Gabriel Jesus he got an in swinger header that Trafford misjudged and almost that hit the bar too. But that was the most that happened in that second half for Arsenal. So they can't blame Kepa for the entirety of the match. And like Arteta's decision for starting Kepa is ridiculous. If I thought you have other players to blame as well with this loss.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. They have their defenders to blame. The defenders not being like it's insanely it's crazy to me that they had two defenders on the ball and they could not make like because the most important part of the area of the pitch to win is the center. You want to start from the center. When you get to your fourth base, which is like where your attackers are, maybe you can take it out to your wingers and they will dribble in and make something. But when you're starting build up play, you want to start from the center. It is insane to me that they could not get any passes to any of their central defensive midfielders. It's insane to me that they couldn't create anything except through going long. Like for a second, it felt like they were just going long and long. Like that makes no sense.
Let's
Enrique,
even assume they went long. Gyökeres was poor. His hold on play was poor yesterday. We've seen, like, please correct me if I'm wrong. We've seen Jao Pedro against Gabriel and Saliba
of course, yeah,
in 3 games. 3 games in it. No, they played 4 times now, guys. 4 times. I beg everyone to check Gabriel and Gabriel against, sorry, Jao Pedro against these two parents. We've seen Ekitike against these two parents. We've seen Haaland in some games against,
yeah.
he was playing against Kushinov and Nathan Aki. They were good. They were great.
None of his
However, your physique, your style of play involves you bullying. It involves you out strengthening your opposition. You are big. Like Gyökeres is like 6'2". Look at his size, bro. That is one of the reasons why you were going long, so that he can bring it down, cushion the ball, involve Saka, get that 1-1-2 play, involve who was your left wing, Trossard, involve Martinelli when he came on. No. Kai Havertz, that one's 80-1. That one does not even mean anything. Let's even not Kai Havertz. But
why
having those two top players in that position, and you're telling me none of you could at least get your wingers in play, bounce back, 1-2, get Declan Rice to touch, get Trossard involved. I'm not saying they played well too, but the idea of going, bro, have you remember Drogba now? That bam, like it's on his chest. Next thing, is touching the ball back to Lamps, giving it to Hazard or Iron Robin. Those mean like what we watch growing up. There are different types of strikers, but Gyökeres is in that strength, body, physique, striker, build, whatever. That is why they brought you in. That is why they were going long. Since they did not have the option of playing at the back, we are going long. Gyökeres, what can you do for us? You didn't. You got bullied by Kushinov and Netanaki.
so first off, let's start from Drogba. There are not a lot of players you can compare nowadays.
That's my point.
Wait.
Yes.
I've seen that for a couple of reasons. Drogba was exceptional in hold up play, except
Remember you talk about Osimhen against Konate and Van Dijk just of recent
yeah,
in Champions League.
getting there. Gyökeres is not. He has the qualities of a physical player, but that's not actually his strength. His strength is actually running in behind. To me, if you watch Sporting last season when they got him, you want to give Gyökeres a true ball, and he runs when he's one on one with his man and the goalkeeper, then he can create something. But hold up play for Gyökeres, no. And even Havertz was who I actually thought would actually turn up because that's his own. No, like that's what they say. Havertz is a deep line forward. He knows how to link up play. That's why people enjoy Havertz. That's why they even use him in German team. But him too, he couldn't turn up. And I mean, maybe it's just the way City set up with their formation. Obviously, they knew if Arsenal can progress through the middle, Arsenal are going to have to go long. So maybe they just got ready for that. But
But this is why I appreciate players like Henry. Henry was like, because you can fact check this. If he knows that he was a runner, but I remember saying that, okay, if running was not working, how can I change my style of play to support my team? Okay, Gyökeres likes running in behind. We know he operates from, especially from that left hand side, so he can cut into his right and shoot. He has that shot power on his legs.
yeah,
But if it's not working, if you're not getting, okay, they block a lot of channels for true balls to happen. They block a lot of channels for you to have your best game. That is where you find other alternatives. That is where you try and put your team in a situation for them to succeed, which he did not do. That's what I'm saying. Like, Ateta has his faults because he could have done a lot of things. He could have tweaked when he was seeing that things were not working against City. That is where the tactical battle comes in with Pep and Ateta. However, your players should also put you in a situation to, continue fighting, which Sakas could not take on Nico O'Reilly or who was it? Goyekores could not. If it was pace, I can understand because Kushinov is fast. But he could not out muscle Kushinov. He could not out muscle Netanaki. Ah, come on, man. That's 60 million British pounds, or is it 60 million euros? And you could not do that yesterday for your team in a tight situation. That's rubbish. That's abysmal.
I mean, I've always said, like, obviously, Arsenal, their defense is amazing. Every single personnel they have on defense is amazing. Midfield, I still believe is a bit shaky. Like, obviously, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, those are great players, but you still want to have this is not just for Arsenal. This is also for Liverpool too. I feel like those two teams need like a Fabinho type, a Rodri type, a colossal in the middle, somebody that can hold up play. Not somebody that can hold up play, somebody that can distribute play, can do long balls, short balls. Somebody that can is defensively solid. When they had Partey, it was great. Everything was decent. He had all the qualities that they needed. But obviously, that area is still covered for Arsenal. I've always said their worst part is their attack. When you have Madueke, you have Saka, you have Trossard, you have Martinelli, those are above average players. Maybe even great.
Saka is above average.
tho- Those are above average players.
Saka is above average.
Maybe even great players. Maybe even great.
This guy don't Saka. You are
Wait,
finished.
no,
This,
I mean,
this
I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's a good player. Maybe even above average. Maybe great, Seth. But when you put them in this, I mean, Saka is. It's not Saka that they said is a is a winger that is black. He's not a black winger.
oh my god.
But those are topics for another. I just feel like their wing options, like their wingers, they definitely want to get rid of Trossard maybe this summer. Trossard,
Oh, they should get rid of Trossard and Martinelli.
yeah,
To wrap them up and send them away fast.
yeah. If they want to keep on playing the way they want to keep on playing, I suggest they bring in somebody that can create from nothing, like a Rafael Leao or a Nico Williams, somebody that can create from nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
That would definitely help them create more chances. If Arsenal had somebody like Doku, I can just imagine kind of things they'd be doing. But the way Saka plays, obviously we know he's going to take it to his left foot. He's dangerous on a good day. Can whip in a couple crosses. He can shoot too. But
Hey, Saka disrespect.
not against a City side. He's not going to do all those funny.
Saka disrespect. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. How many trophies has Saka won? How many goals has he scored in the last 5 seasons? How many assists has he created? Saka Saka has.
Hey.
What does he have this year? This year, let's even do this year.
I
He's,
don't know. He has been poor this season. He has
he's
been poor this
not-
season. He has been poor.
I don't think he's a world class. I don't think he can go to any team and just start there. No.
Fair enough. That is your opinion. I refuse to engage in any Saka discourse. Arsenal fans,
Oh,
it's damn you, it's damn you, it's not me.
let
So
them-
if you want to talk about this, let us know. Let us know in your comments. We'll keep you posted. But there's nothing crazy to say about this game anymore. Just one last question, and I think we're all thinking it. Pep Guardiola, GOAT manager in the Premier League as well. GOAT manager in England, a GOAT manager in the world. Is that stamped? Is that solidified?
oh yeah.
No
Start.
more, no more Alex Ferguson arguments.
Mm, how many?
19 trophies in 10 years, I believe. 19 trophies in 10 years for Manchester City, four consecutive Premier League trophies, domestic treble, and what's it called? European treble with winning the Champions League. First manager to win Champions League for Manchester City. Five or six Carabao Cups. How many FA Cups? I can't remember. Our first manager to win four four domestic trophies: the Community Shield, Premier League, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup in the same season. I don't want to bring up his European pedigree.
I
Bayern
think
Munich,
Pep, I,
Barcelona.
I think
He
Pep has won
spent
like
the.
40 trophies, 40 trophies.
It'll be more. It'll be more.
Yeah.
But is he the good manager in the Premier League now? Like, has he surpassed Sir Alex Ferguson in the Premier League?
Um, I think
Let's. I don't care about longevity. Like, has this finally surpassed Alex Ferguson in the Premier League?
I mean, I think Fergie won like 8 Premier League titles or so.
No, no. I think he won more. I think he won more. I just can't remember the number. More than eight, I believe.
Um,
Eight
based
or
on
nine, or nine or eight, nine or ten. One of those three numbers. But I
yeah,
think it's one. So 9 or 10.
no, based on Pep's total,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he can be put up there in that conversation. To be honest, you
So
can.
argument is not GOAT manager ever. I think GOAT manager ever is Pep Guardiola. However, has he surpassed Alex Ferguson in Premier League? Is my question. Like, can we sit down here and say if we were to rank all the managers that occur in Premier League, is Alex Ferguson still number one, or does he move to number two,
I
and
think
then everybody drops down? Because my list used to be Saf, Pep, Mourinho. That was my top three. Now is it Pep, Saf, Mourinho, or is it still Saf?
it's still Saf. If it's just in the league, it's still Saf.
Still
What?
Saf?
Yeah.
What
Um,
does Pep have to do to surpass Alex Ferguson in Premier League?
if Pep can win this, if he can win this Premier League,
Oh my God.
I will I will rate him above anyone in the world, bro.
Yeah, he's not, man. I think Arsenal has solidified that Premier
Yeah,
League.
I
There's
will-
no
but
points. You have to just agree that Arsenal is winning Premier League this season.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
If he can win like maybe one more Premier League title, then we definitely have to ask that question again.
fair enough. Fair enough. That's about it for Carabao Cup final. The boys are now on international break. And guys, on our next episode is going to definitely be an argumentative topic. We will try and record this on a Sunday, not on a Monday, because most of our guys, most of our, you know, co-hosts,
Oh,
our members, our team, they are usually working on Monday, so we'll try to get them on the pod on a Sunday and then have like a debate. If you have anything you want to argue about, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Send us your debate topics. Send us whatever you want to argue about. What we can be a player. We can start the episode on about Rooney and Neymar. Let's go. Like there's a lot to talk about, so please let us know your thoughts in the comments.
we need to match.
Now we're going to move on to Premier League quickly. We don't want to touch base again. We are Dami is not a Bayern fan, and I think you know why we don't touch base there a lot. However, disgusting and embarrassing performance for a lot of the teams running for that Champions League spots. Aston Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester United. Manchester United 2-2 draw to Bournemouth. I mean, they could have won the game if not for Stuart Atwell with some of his rubbish decisions. United should have gotten a penalty. They did not. Bournemouth scored a goal from that. 2-2. Good game. United could have performed better. Chelsea, after a defeat from PSG in the Champions League in the first leg, they lost against Newcastle, dropping points 1-0 at the bridge, and they lost again at the Bridge second leg Champions League with a total aggregate of 8-2 to PSG. And at Everton's new stadium, they were totally beaten up by Everton 3 goals to nothing. Elman Ndiaye with a ridiculous finish for his third goal. Aston Villa, they got their 1-0 win. And Liverpool, they got hammered by Welbeck. Welbeck, 2 goals. I think clubs should go and pick up Welbeck. Oh. There's a thing about aging like fine wine, and he's aging like fine wine right now
He
for
is.
Brighton Hove Albion in the Premier League. So Liverpool 2-1 defeats, and now everybody's on international break. I was just going to go straight to Chelsea, because Chelsea's story is quite interesting and beautiful to talk about. Chelsea, where do we start? I think we had our bold predictions against PSG in Champions League. I did think prior to whatever has happened in the last 4 games, I've had my comments about Chelsea's new manager, Rizanoa. I mentioned that first couple of games he was very, unstable all over the place, which is something you expect with, a new manager joining. And then a couple games after, you started seeing his ideas being imprinted on the Chelsea team, being instilled into the players, which led to a couple good games. I mean, Chelsea won 4-1 against Aston Villa, João Pedro hat-trick. Crystal Palace, they beat 2-0, sorry, 3-1. I believe João Pedro again, was on form against West Ham. The comeback win, 1-2-0 down to 3-2. I mean, it shouldn't be 2-0 down, but you could have seen that his change in the second half was what brought Chelsea to that 3 goals. Leeds United, Chelsea played crazily well in that game. However, Kopama and a couple misses, and you couldn't even blame the coach for that type of draw. And in between, he has won his games. We could not blame him for some of the Arsenal results. Like Arsenal, you could see that he actually was trying to play ball. He was coach. These guys, some players have failed him. Burnley as well. Burnley, you should have beaten Burnley. They were playing good games. I mean, they were against lesser oppositions. However, they were in good form, playing well, and you could just see that some of these things were not on the coach. It was just on players. We got 2 red cards in the span of Rosenoa also joining Chelsea, coupled with the fact that Maresca has been getting red cards, Neto, Fofana. So it's all like this. However, his last run of fixtures from the PSG 5-2 defeat at Parc de France, I was there on the stadium, till the game against Everton, we've lost 4 games in a row. What are your thoughts on Chelsea, the system, the owners, the sacking unstable managers, unstable players, the model? What is going on, brother?
Okay, so Chelsea is right now majority of the blame has to go to the owners, and I say the owners and the sporting directors, and I say that because um during the summer we needed during the summer we won the Club World Cup, highlight of
Yeah,
the season, probably the highlight of our last 4 5 years.
since
Good,
this owner came in, yeah,
yeah, we won the Club World Cup, and at that time everybody it was I think it was general consensus around everybody that Chelsea was going to challenge for the title. And no, it felt like everybody was talking about Chelsea challenging for titles. Chelsea's back, the way we dismantled PSG, nobody would have seen us in this situation, losing 8-2 to them right now. Obviously, we won the Club World Cup. That came with a lot of money. I don't know how much it was, but apparently the entire Club World Cup was a $1 billion tournament. It came with a lot of money for the winner. I would have expected the sporting directors to say, okay, yes, this is the time where we can actually buy players that are going to take this club to the next level. Because I was talking to somebody about this like recently. I feel like general consensus in the Premier League is that almost everybody is on the same technical level. Almost everybody in every team. Obviously, you have some people that are lower, some people that are higher. Almost everybody there's a general like consensus on technicality in the league. Very like the league is very even in terms of okay technical players. What you want to do is, and this is exactly what Arsenal did. You want to bring in players that bring something different in physicality. Everybody is same technically. Okay, that's fine. You want to have physical players that can impose themselves on opposition defense, that can impose themselves on opposition strikers. And I thought that was what Chelsea would do. I thought we would bring back a very good starting centre back, a very good striker, and that's not been the case. That has not been the case. Obviously, over the Club World Cup, and I think even before, we brought in Delap. Obviously, as our centre back, we brought in Mohamed Salah, and Salah is a great prospect. But that's the problem with Chelsea. We can't keep on doing prospects. We've gotten so close. Like we've gotten this season. When you look at the amount of points Chelsea has dropped from winning situations, we're very close to Arsenal. We're not even close, we're very close to Arsenal. That's from losing positions, points that we dropped from losing positions. Obviously, this is a
from winning positions, you mean?
sorry, from winning positions. Those are points we
Yeah.
dropped from winning positions. Obviously, this is a very young team.
Yeah.
A very young team. You can't fault them for that. But these people, I feel like they still need a, a work. Like, I would love if Thiago Silva was still back at the club, to be honest. Obviously,
Mm,
legs have gone, but that experience, the experience that kind of head brings, Chelsea is funny because Chelsea has always been known to have leaders. We had
mm.
Lampard, we had Didier Drogba, we had Essien, we had Czech.
Okay.
We had so many leaders in the club at that time.
Oh my God. Cesar Spilicueta, John Terry, like,
Like we've been known to have great leaders. I don't know what is going on right now. Obviously, our captain regime is always out. Not always out, but this season we've seen him come back a lot more. But even Rich James, it just feels shaky as a club captain, to be honest, in my opinion. Enzo Fernandez, shaky as a club vice captain. Obviously, these guys can bring that passion, they can bring that fire in some moments. But you want a steady leader, like a steady center back, a steady goalkeeper. I always believe your captain should be a center back. Why? Because he can stay at the back. He can back others. Hey, you need to move. Hey, you need to like he can tell the team what like so that the team is not just static. Look at Chelsea. The most recent games we've been playing. Not against the PSG ones, because the PSG match, the first leg, like I said on the pod, I actually did believe we had a chance to win that. Obviously, they scored the first one, we scored. They scored the second one, we scored. That was the situation where they should have said, okay, we need to do something about maybe holding up our defense. Because if they score the next one, we're not going to score again. Like, you can't keep on, if, like, in football, when an opponent scores, you score. The opponent scores again, you score. It's not going to keep on happening like that. It's going to reach a point where somebody is going to stop scoring and somebody is going to win the match. So you have to say, okay, we're not going to allow them score anything again. It's 2-2, the score is even. Let's leave that onto Stamford Bridge. But the last 15 minutes, Chelsea lost all concentration. They lost all manner of concentration. And that's where the game got lost from them. Same thing that happened with Barca and Newcastle in the second leg. 15 minutes, that's what it took to score 3 goals for Barcelona and they're out. Same thing that happened in a lot of matches in the Champions League. So like the best teams in the Champions League, what they're doing now is they're just taking 15 minutes. With that 15 minutes, they're going to score you as many goals as possible. They don't care if they are leaking goals, they don't care about it. They just want to score you. And it happened to Chelsea. They knocked Chelsea out, and that was fine. I was very disappointed with the Everton loss. And I say that because the way Everton set up against us, they were marking, okay, they set up to press against us high. Everton went to press against Chelsea high. Maresca would have feasted in that situation. He would have had so much fun. But they set up to press against us high. Their cam was on one of our CDMs, and the entire game we just kept on passing from side to side. It was disgusting. It was appalling to watch. I knew we were going to lose that match from the first 5 minutes. And when Chelsea starts passing that ball side to side, it's not as if they want to create anything. No. It's just so, okay, let's just save face because they don't know what to do again in that moment. Roseno should have set them up in that 2-2-6 formation he did when he first joined the club. Like, obviously, they used 3 at the back in this match. Cucurella was attacking, was getting into the box as much as possible. But that 2-2-6 would have, for me, it would have secured possession and would have been able to recover the ball faster than we did in that match. And they didn't do that, and we lost 3-0. And I genuinely don't even know if they're going to make it to the Champions. I don't even think they're going to make it to Europa League at this stage, to be honest. If this form continues to
bro, Chelsea made Beto look like prime Didier Drogba. Fofana made like he made Neto, I say Beto look like prime Drogba. I don't understand the choice of using Jared Hato in that game. We all know that Chaluba is out, yes. However, both strikers for Everton are like 6'4", 6. You know, Thierry Barney was that guy's name.
yeah.
Barney and then Beto. we know their heights, and your option was to use Jared Hato. To be honest, I don't even like. I understand. Tosin Adarabioyo is -1. It's like, look at, like, what is Tosin doing at Chelsea? Like, the sporting director saw somebody to pick up for free, and he picked Tosin. But story for another day. However, Tosin would have done a better job in terms of like heading, distribution in that game, because they were bullying Jared Hato. Like, he was bullying Jared Hato throughout that game, which was not a decision I thought, Rosenau would have made. Now, some players just need to go. And this is not a thing of Rosenau's fault. Like, I don't wish Pedro Neto on any manager. Like, I don't know the Pedro Neto that was playing in Wolves and the one that we have now. Estaval came in and in 5 minutes did what we wanted Pedro Neto to do the entirety of the game. Like, he took on his fullback and he beat him back to back to back possessions. Like, he got corners, he got into the box, he got crosses in. What was Pedro Neto doing? And this idea of not using a second left winger, using a winger, and then to use Cucurella or Gusto as, the, like, it doesn't, brother. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Liam, like, what are you doing?
I do understand. I understand. I don't understand. I don't understand the starting lineup in that team. Obviously, you said Hato. You should know after Hato. That's, I mean, common knowledge. The way he uses Cole Palmer too. He uses Cole Palmer as a winger sometimes. And Cole Palmer, yes, during Mauricio Pochettino's time, he used to be a winger, but obviously he always had gusto on the overlap. I would prefer to use Cole Palmer in a central position, but the problem is that they have to drop Enzo. And that's where I feel like Rosenio has struggled. Bro does not want to drop Enzo. Obviously, he started when he started this season, he was using Caicedo and Andre Santos with Enzo in front of them. And that was fine. But Kopama wasn't there by that time. You can't
Yeah.
you can't have Kopama and Enzo with you can't have Kopama and Enzo playing without having Andre Santos and Caicedo. Because that's where the balance comes in the team. So it depends on, like, how do you actually want to set up the team to win? Those are the questions I want to ask
So
Jose.
I thought I had Enzo was pressing in a two with Jao Pedro in front.
Yeah,
What was the plan?
that's exactly
Enzo and Jao Pedro like one of my best midfielders. We are like on the ball. So
Mhm.
help me to take play from the back. He's pressing Tarkowski and Brain to it and Bright to it.
That was exactly the position where I feel like Kopama should have started from. And they should have put Neto on his wing. You can't put that guy on the left wing. Neto stinks on the left wing. He stinks there. I mean, Ganacho stinks a lot.
Garnacho is Garnacho, bro. Like, why is Garnacho at Chelsea? Why
That,
did
that's
why did the sporting directors decide? Why were they adamant on buying Garnacho?
that was the question I was asking. I did not understand. I did not understand what he brought. Because obviously we have Kenda coming by the end of this season. But Ganacho does not bring anything different to our team. Like, I'd have even preferred if they just bought Gittins and left it like that. Like, why bring Ganacho? It's something that I also have to go back to. Think about Chelsea and what's his name? Samu. Samu would have brought a difference to this team. Samu is 6'5", physical, fast. This is the starting striker of Spain. A black man starting as a striker for Spain. Do you
Yeah,
like
to reference
think about
to reference the color.
no, like think about the striker Spain has had. Very technical, very fast. Sometimes David Villa, Torres, they put Samu as a starting striker because he's a difference maker. When it's time to be physical, it can be physical. When it's time to run it behind, it can run it behind. But no, Chelsea went to go and sign Jao Felix. Samu's deal broke down. They went to go and sign Jao Felix. And Jao Felix did not even play up to like 20 matches when they signed him the second time. So why? Like their
I
transfer
don't understand. I don't understand the structure at Chelsea, right?
yeah,
I don't understand the structure at Chelsea.
their transfers have been very questionable. A lot of
Everything.
things they do are very questionable. Sometimes it's profitable. I still think the long term 6-year deals in the long run, they are profitable, but stuff like that,
It's
all those small stuff like that, agents, maybe they're talking with agents and they want to help agents sign up their players. Look at Chelsea players like Tosin Lavia from City's old academy that they are bringing back because somebody used to work in City. I don't know.
Jason.
I don't know.
If we continue to talk about Chelsea, we will not finish. Let's move on. Let's move on to Liverpool and Villa and United. I
Yeah,
mean, Liverpool 2-1, 2-1 lost to Brighton after coming from a 4-0 win against Galatasaray at Anfield in Champions League.
yeah,
Good thing that they've qualified for the next stage. However, I don't think Liverpool, a lot of Liverpool fans wanted to qualify for the next stage, especially going against PSG. I mean, something we'll talk about in the future. However, this loss just keeps everything still open for a lot of teams. I mean, Aston Villa has finally gotten their win, and they lost against United. They lost the game before that. They've been off. They've not been on form at all. They've been off from a lot of like in a lot of weeks. But they got that win yesterday, and they have their 54 points. I think they are level on points with United now, or they've gotten ahead of United because United drew, right?
yeah.
But Liverpool's loss keeps this top four, top five Champions League race still open. Um, Liverpool is on and off. You can't predict what you are getting. Like you can't predict. And you've mentioned a lot of things they've gotten wrong. So I think their transfer window this January and in the last summer was not good. Like you could have addressed a lot of issues with your defense, you could have addressed a lot of issues with your midfield. Like McAllister is not the same. Salah was I mentioned Salah is getting to that age, right? So you need someone to start coming in to start showing that I can take this man's throne. However, they wanted to extend his contract, which is understandable. Van Dijk is still Van Dijk, but it's all over the place with Liverpool, and you can't predict what you are getting. So disappointing result for them. Do you still want to give do you think Slot should still be given another chance or
Yeah, no, I understand Liverpool fans that want him fired, but I don't blame him. Like, if you remember at the start of the season, one thing I said about Liverpool was that obviously their defense is Van Dijk, Konate. We know those ones are decent enough on a good day. Attack, they have a lot of attacking talent. The area they need to work on is their midfield. They need a colossal CDM that's going to be able to stand in front of Konate and Van Dijk. If there's any counter attacking coming, he can slow it down or he can stop it. Somebody that can also pass the ball around. I understand why they were going for Caicedo. I understand why they were going for Lavia when we stole it from them. But like they need somebody in that middle that can do the job. Obviously, they tried to get Endo when those transfers did not work out, but Endo is not somebody that can do it. You need a colossal person. Every team has it. Every team has a Rodri. Every team has a Declan Rice. Sometimes every team has a Caicedo. You need that player in Liverpool. I said it's the start of this season. Start of this season, and they still haven't addressed it. Gravenberch cannot do that work. He cannot do it. There is no way he's going to be able to do it. Once they address that issue with that CDM, the next issue they need to work on is obviously the wings. And I'll say the wings because of a couple of reasons. We said Salah is aging. Definitely Salah is going. Once Salah's contract expires this time, just let him go. He's a legend. He has done it all. He has won it all. Let him go. And Liverpool fans, a couple of Liverpool fans have actually complained about this to me, but the coach seems to have a liking for Gakpo, even in situations when Gakpo should not be used. Like Gakpo,
Gakpo is the most one-dimensional winger I have seen in a long time that is not good at the dimension that he's like everyone looks at Iron Robin and everyone says I'm going to cut inside though and I'm going to shoot my left leg.
yeah,
Cody Gakpo saying I'm going to cut inside though and I'm going to shoot my right leg. But there's no end product. Kodigakpo is the most useless one-dimensional winger I have seen in a long time.
yeah.
And he's not good at the dimension. Like, what type of winger is this?
No, yeah. Gakpo for me, when you want to use Gakpo, you want to use him as an inside forward. But
Yeah.
it's important to have a wing back that knows what they are doing. Obviously, Robertson and Kerkez have been very unstable this season. You want to have a wing back that knows what he's doing. If you put like a Cucurella behind Gakpo, I think they'd work well. But the way he just uses Gakpo is funny to me. And then he always does this stuff where he subs in Salah and or Rio Unguma. And it's not always going to work like that. It's not always going to work.
Nah.
Sometimes these players need to start. I'd like to see Rio start against like a lower Premier League side.
Yeah.
Obviously, he'd run at his defender, try to create chances, but Gakpo,
Yeah.
uh,
Ray is young.
yeah.
Ray is young. He'll get there. He'll get there. It's still a lot. I think he's 17 years old now, 16, 17. He's young. He'll get there. He'll get there. But yeah, that's about it on that side of the Premier League. Just one more team to touch on before we end it. Call it quits from Premier League. Uh, Tottenham Hotspur. Um, Luckily, they are still in the Premier League. Luckily, they are still 17th. Luckily, they are not in that relegation spot yet. However, they have lost back-to-back games. They got the draw against Liverpool, but they lost 3-0 against Forest, who is also in that relegation battle. Again, the Premier League cannot afford for Tottenham to go to relegate, like to get relegated. They cannot afford for Spurs to be relegated, bro. Is it can should they just part ways with Igor Tudor until the end of like get another manager or like use a temporary manager to the end of the season?
I mean, it calls to question their decision to even hire him in the first place. Why did you hire him? If like, what were you expecting from him? For me, if your team is in a relegation battle in the Premier League, you probably want to bring in somebody that has done relegation battles before. Somebody like
Some other guys, those type of guys.
Allardyce. Yeah, you want to bring in someone that has that experience holding, like getting a team through surviving relegation. And they brought in Igor Tudor from the Italian league using a 5-3-2, 5-2-3 formation. Like, come on, what are the board directors or the board members in sports? What are they doing? Why did they get him in the first place? And obviously he got the draw against Liverpool, so that was decent enough. They're out of the Champions League. They are
Yeah, we
yeah,
didn't get
they're out of the Champions League. They are. I don't think they are fighting for any trophy this season. The only thing he needs to do is just keep them up. Just keep them up.
keep them afloat
Keep
basically,
them
man.
afloat. You're not going to get.
I think he does it. I think he still like he most likely does it because West Ham would most likely disappoint me. Wolves, yes, they are gone. Burnley for sure. I think West Ham will most likely disappoint, and Tottenham just scrapes it just by a bit.
Nottingham Forest have been good, so I don't actually expect them to be like actually in the relegation fight, but they should. Tottenham technically should be able to stay afloat, even
Yeah.
if 15 of your players are injured. You want to be able to stay afloat because if they go to Champions League, they will even have those 15 players injured. They won't have them anymore. Teams will come and steal them up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's about it for Premier League. Not too much to see on Spanish La Liga. Just congratulations to the Real Madrid for the Madrid derby.
Great match.
Three
Great
two.
match.
Great match, great match. Lookman, our boy, was on the score sheet. However, Vinicius, he has gotten that momentum back. He has gotten his form back. He's killing it. He sent Manchester City home in the Champions League, and he's back on form. However, there is no football. I mean, there's no league football for the next 2 weeks, or is it a week basically? There's
Yeah.
nothing this weekend, and then we get the match next week. However, we are going to, like we mentioned at the start of the episode, we are going to be having a lot of debates. Not a lot, but we are going to have a debate episode. We'll be bringing our special guest Zen Balo. Hopefully, we can get a couple more guys in. But you know, Zen Balo is a staple here on the podcast. Everyone loves Balo, so we'll definitely be having him on the episode, and it's going to be coming with a lot of excitement, a lot of arguments, and a lot of debates. So in case we are going to definitely have what we want to talk about, but in case anyone has anything they want to talk about,
Omo. We'll cut that part out.
I'm not sorry.
It's still going. It's still going. 59 minutes.
Yeah, in case anyone has any debates that they want, please let us know your thoughts in the comments. And definitely we will be recording. So catch us on the next episode. I'm still your boy Dio. Dami.